Conservators practice what we call minimum intervention, which means we don't do any more to the artifact than is absolutely necessary. So because they're going to be traveling around the country and being handled a lot every time you need to install and deinstall them, they have to have a higher level of stability than they would if they were just staying in our collections or just going on exhibit here. So for instance, ones like this, even though we didn't need to take it all apart, I injected fresh adhesive along all the join lines and consolidated the fills, the old fills. This is an old fill, and I'm just painting them up. This incensario here, the night jaguar, had to be completely taken apart, and the old joins were no good. And it is really not very good ceramic either. So for instance, this piece here, that came down in one part when I took it apart, and then that piece in turn turned into 75 other smaller fragments that all had to be glued back together. So there's more adhesive almost than ceramic on this artifact to get it back to looking as it would have in the day. And I've mostly finished the front, but you can see here in the back there's still quite a lot of work to do. This is the B72 microballoons mixture that we use to strengthen all the joins. Because the other thing is, it's because the ceramic isn't very strong, you get a lot of loss at the join edges, and so pieces that should have gone together like this actually end up going together like this with a little space between them. So you have to fill in that space to make it all work again. And so now I just have to smooth down all those areas and paint them to match. And there's already been a lot of that done here. So there are joins there, fills all along here. And then we paint them out so that they are, this whole area is reconstruction here, so that they're not noticeable. We don't try to fool anybody about what's real and what's not, but we want it so that when you look at it, you see a complete artifact, not a collection of badly shaped sherds.
Oh boy, if you can get a look in here, you can see just how much had to be done. All of that blue tape will be coming off eventually. You know, Lynn calls herself a scientist and a conservator, but I call her a magician because she is really remarkable. What's interesting about this is that the style is one of the major cities of the Maya, Palenque, but it was made with clay that was taken out of the ground along the upper Chishoy River, near where it meets the Usumacinta. And it was found in Chama. So you have influences of two other places meeting in this one vessel, which is found in yet a third place. Trade was very important for the lifeblood of Chama. This is an incense burner. It would have had, well, it doesn't have a bottom now, but it would have had a bottom that was fairly heavily coated with resin from the incense. They used incense, a resin from the trees called palm. It's from a pine tree, and when it burns, it gives off a lovely fragrance. But they also used things like rubber, which really stinks, blood, animals. They would burn a lot of different things to the gods. The idea being that the smoke carries the essence of the object that's burned up to the heavens. Well, rubber is used for the ball game, so I would imagine that, of course, the liquid latex would be used for to coat things, but they also might burn a whole ball. I would hate to be around when it burned because it would have really not been pleasant. Oh, rubber comes from, you find a lot of it along the Veracruz coast, And rubber trees grow in Central America.
They invented rubber.
And the Olmec were the first to use rubber probably 3,500 years ago. And in fact, one of the figurines in the exhibit has a little string hanging down from the ball that it holds. They would wrap strips of rubber around each other spirally, and then they would use a band of rubber to tie it together, and this ball has one end of it hanging down.